Okay. Well.
How about now? Can you hear
I
us
can hear you on the
both,
stream.
Major?
I just heard you on the stream. So I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a yes. So perfect. There's a both. He said both, so I guess we're good. So welcome everyone. In a while, it's been the first stream. We have streamed a lot back in the day.
Better now then. Might be a bit loud. I'm better now?
Don't mute yourself. That kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah. That's, I have no idea why I'm muted. Now, okay, so, thank you,
Don't touch
McRae.
anything. Do it like this. That is literally the the settings you want.
Sweet. I'm not going to touch
Hooray.
anything more. And thank you to our good doctor for the background video as well. And,
Background video. The Consolated Outland poster.
Yeah, I put in just a bunch of his video looping things.
Job.
So I think he's he's taken quite some time to do that.
I mean, making Pioneer publicity for free.
Yep. I'm just wondering.
It's not our most popular ship based on the lists.
Yeah. What? The most popular
It's
ships?
not our most popular one, the Pioneer, although we do have a surprising amount of them.
Yeah, we do, actually. We have quite a few.
Anyways, maybe we should get into it, since it's an Ask Me Anything, and there's quite a few questions to get through, and we don't know how long the answers will take. So,
yeah,
let's get to it. So I checked all the questions that you guys have written down in the appropriate channel. If there's more questions, I guess just write them in the chat, and I'll get them in. Especially if you have follow-up questions, I'll try to get them out there to Wisur if he doesn't see them himself.
Yeah.
And I've tried to split them up more or less logically, so they're not completely in the same order as they were asked, but it doesn't matter. We should get to all of them. And yeah, so the first category I kind of randomly selected were just like rules of the org and how we work in general. So the first question was how large do you expect the org to grow, and if there will be a cap on member numbers, or is anyone and everyone free to join whenever? The question comes from Alco.
The initial ID was 150 members, but I see that we need probably 150 quite active members. So we'll probably have some have to become more than 150 because some percentage will be rather, how can I say it, we'll play maybe once a month. Others will play once a week, and some will play every day. So I think it's something we have to see as we go along. I have no idea how many people we need on different game loops to complete what we want, and how we can utilize NPCs. I think that's going to be the big decisive factor. But the most important part is we're open for anyone probably all the time. But they want to, they need to want to do the nomadic thing, I think. If that answered nice enough.
I mean, I guess it's the difference between actively seeking new members based on the numbers that we have and just accepting people that want to come in, right?
Yeah, of course we will always accept if we feel they are a right fit for us. I think we're quite open for taking on most people. Yeah.
Also, I assume that we're going to be quite flexible, right, with these numbers anyways, because we don't know how many people you need to do anything in game right now.
Yeah, we have no idea how many people we actually need to, like, say a reclaimer. How many players do we need and how many NPCs can we get by with? Or what are they called? The computer cores thing.
Yeah, like
the blades.
We have no idea right now. Like, what happens if we have 10 players? Will that be enough to do some mining and cover the defense, or do we need 20 for that at least? Or how it will shake down with NPCs, computers, etc. Right?
Yeah, because last time they talked about NPCs, they said they would be able to fly your ships, but we don't know if will it be just go from A to B, or fall in line in a formation or a wing, or can they fight? Can they do anything other than just go from A to B? Or we don't have the information of it yet.
Yeah, a lot of that will be subject to CAG and how they do things, right?
Yeah, so I think we just adapt as the game develops. It's the only way, I believe.
Cool. So, moving on, still in the same category, question from Era. Does WTTC intend to demand a monthly or weekly payment from its members to keep everything afloat? And if so, how much is expected?
The idea that I actually have worked from is that more or less all of the earnings just go into one big pot, and we try in some way to try and track the hours that people do stuff in game, because if you're repairing a ship of another org member, we could have it so that costed money, or if that was just taken out of the big pot, and at the end of a week, for example, we take whatever is in the pot, share it by whoever has participated, and the ones who participated most will get the most. So that's an idea I've been working on. So everyone gets like equal pay for amount of effort put in. So if someone put in 10 hours, they would be paid for those 10 hours. And if someone put in 1 hour, then they would be paid for that 1 hour.
The idea also being that not everyone that participates will do a job that is necessarily paid for by the game, right?
Because doing security for our own mining operation, that won't generate direct income. Doing repair on org ships won't generate direct income. Setting up the hub, like the logistics of it, that is also someone have to do those things, and those things don't generate any income, but they should be paid the same. At least I feel they should.
I guess we'll also be flexible to adjust on how the game looks at any point, right? Like, I remember when in the last big time when I played a lot, using the mole, and I had a variable crew of people that were on the mole. So I had a spreadsheet that just which run had how many people on it, and then just try to guesstimate the profit I made per run, and just divided that by the number of people. And
so I think it's the same as that, but just scaled up to every operation we do in the entire org. So the same idea, just scaled up.
Yeah, and we'll see how we do the thing. Like, if it's time, like time input, or like something like a mining operation when you have, 2 mining runs and you're participating in one of those mining runs. If one is more profitable, then I guess you get a proportion of that. And yeah.
And also when we mine, it's not always for profit either, because if we're repairing or if we are using any resources, those things have to be mined. So if someone goes out with a mole after some specific resources that are needed by the crucible and repair guys, that won't generate any income, because it's not commodities that are being sold, but it negates the cost for the org on the repair of the ship.
What would you say to people that are not doing an org, specifically an org thing, but maybe someone takes out, I'm going to take them all again as an example because it's the best multi-crew thing at the moment to make money together.
Yeah.
So say you have that sort of ship, and you put someone from the org on and another friend that is not affiliated with us at all, and someone who might be affiliate but not member. You could still, if that person wants to refine and then sell and
of course,
take the money, we wouldn't get involved in that, right?
Yeah, and the idea is that if you don't contribute to getting resources and doing stuff for the org, then WTTC might not repair your ship for free if you don't do anything for the org in return. How we're going to keep track of these things, I hope we get some in-game tools, some org management tools of some sort, like in the Moby Glass or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the game already is probably going to be able to track how much time we spend in it. Steam does that pretty well, so
yeah.
If you can split between org time and non-org time, also org time that is just dicking around and org time that is useful.
Yeah, that's also a difference, but it's as important as well, because that's where a lot of the fun is at.
True. So Nemo's asked about blown up moles, but I mean,
I expect all of them to be blown up at some point.
Yeah, and we're going to help people to get over the costs of those, right? Especially if it's some person within the org that is responsible for that explosion.
Well, the idea is that if everything is put into a pot, then every single expense that everyone has on their ships, repair, upgrades, insurance claims, all of those things will be taken out of that pot before it's divided and paid out. That's the idea, at least. So everything you get paid out is just fun money that you can spend on your own habitat or habitation, or if you want to buy a racer or just some nice looking clothing. All of the ship related costs, fuel, repair, ammunition, everything, I hope can be covered by that pot.
Okay, there is a follow-up, which may only be partially relevant, but I'm going to go into it anyways. Aris says, assuming taxes can be put on player activity, does WTC intend to tax its members? If so, how much is a reasonable percentage? I guess that is partially covered by what you already said about, everything goes into the same pot. But maybe the fringe case of, we do something like we fill a bunch of ships and do some trading or some bounty hunting or some whatever outside of the org, and we actually get money from stuff. Would it be reasonable to get a percentage of that for the org?
I think instead of taxing it, I don't really like the idea of having a tax on those things. But instead, they might have to pay for the rearm and repair after such a skirmish.
Also, keeping in mind that all of these very complex mechanics, including these tools, might not be up for another 5+ years at least. And the complex thing where we can go full nomadic with all the things, build homesteads, etc., might take even longer than that.
Yeah, and
like say in 2 years we have a PU that is more complete. Can we tax for the interval between the time when we can do the thing where we share everything?
Yeah, if that's something that's beneficial for us.
Like if you had the tax tool today, like if in 3.16 there was a tax tool, would we want to use it?
I don't think so, to be honest.
Okay. No, I mean it's a good,
I don't like the general just taxation on if you do things that are not related to the org. I don't like the idea that the org takes a split of that, but you will also in return don't get any favors from the org. Sort of. Then you have to pay for services rendered.
Was a time last year when I tried to, put basically try and impose a tax on myself and send stuff to our bank account regularly.
Yeah. Roughly
trying to do it like 20%, but then that money disappeared. Thank you, bugs.
Yeah, that was. I have no idea where those money went. I think it was due to inactivity because no one logged into that account for 5 months, probably. So it probably just resets any player account that hadn't been logged in for X amount of months or something.
But as a result, a tax that people want to pay, as in having a collective bank account and stuff. Yeah. That's probably something we will, keep having, right?
Yeah.
As soon as it's possible.
And thank you, Nemors and Alec, for being subscribed with Prime. And
guys.
And also, if org maintenance or the org have any sort of expenses, I think that maybe a percentage or two from the pot might be taken into a org bank account thing. I have no idea. Does going through a jump gate cost? Is there there will be cash sinks, and how those will be handled, I have no idea.
Yeah.
So
we'll see about that when it comes.
Yeah, we have to figure those things out, but we just have to see how the game progresses.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to something that is a bit longer. I'll try to read it entirely. So Ara is mentioning rumors that the orgs intends to pay for repairs, which we've talked about, services, and even insurance of ships, use in org activities, who can sanction whether or not player activity is org activity or not. Is it left to each one's own conscience, or does the manager, chief, or even a lazy council member, I can very much vouch for the lazy, need to sign off on it?
I think
Era doesn't want it to be council members only. That's just an addendum.
Yeah, I think I'm a Norwegian. We trust in people. I think that we will, at least to begin with, trust people to report things consciously. Their own conscience will make sure that things are right. And those people who try to get around the system or get benefits they're not entitled to, I don't think I want them as members in the org. So if you're caught, then that's a reason for ban, in my book. I hope that's not too strict.
I mean, I don't know about banning right away on a first offense,
maybe not.
But it depends. It depends what it is. It depends if it's malicious or not, and there's lots of.
But I like to go I like to trust people, and if they prove me wrong, then we might have to change things. But in the beginning, I think that our members can do most are grown people. So, yeah.
All right. From Dealbreaker Jones, he says lastly, because it's part of his quote, but as a traveling circus, pawning our wares across the verse, depending on how resources are handled in game, if there is a point where operation outgrows what Discord and Spectrum can provide as far as utility goes, how will we handle our boundless wealth? With Excel, a website, so I guess it boils down to, will we expand our online presence?
Well, we
beyond...
might have to. But I also hope that we get in-game tools that are better tied to like the org section of Spectrum.
Yeah.
Because on Spectrum you have like different boards, you have different like chatting groups and such, which is org only. And I can set them to be open for members or affiliates or everyone. But I hope that we get some in-game tools combined with some good org tools on Spectrum. But there will always be a spreadsheet around. I don't think we can...
sorry, I muted myself.
I don't think we can get around spreadsheets.
We can't get around spreadsheets, for sure. I mean, I have a reputation with spreadsheets, and it's partially earned.
Yeah.
But they're helpful.
Yeah, they are. So I think we're gonna stick with some of these.
Yeah.
20 million spreadsheets.
Well, may not be 20 million spreadsheets, but you know, I've brought back the ship spreadsheets recently so that people can actually look at them, and they have been a little bit updated.
Yeah.
Thanks to good old O'Neill with that. So that's been useful.
Yeah, O'Neill is a huge resource on that, which is great.
Spreadsheet manager, please not me, because yes, I can maintain the spreadsheets that I've made, but I don't think I want to maintain too many of them. And technically, it's very weird that I have had this reputation in the org, because the big ship spreadsheet has been the first big spreadsheet I've done in my life. I've not really done a lot of spreadsheets in my time. Not really something I do at work much. A spreadsheet, you said, to keep track of the spreadsheets. Yeah?
Yeah, Ara said to me, we talked about you and spreadsheets, and I said something like, you really like your spreadsheets, and Ara, like, that's something he recently just started with because of WTTC.
Oh, yeah, it was needed. There's too many fucking ships in this, and all the third-party tools are shit to compare ships.
Yeah.
And that's what that's also what he does. That's what we do. Like, when we want to find out what's good, we need to compare the numbers, and if you can't compare the numbers, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Anyways, going away from questions about starships, the last question in that category actually comes from me, and it's maybe a difficult one. I don't know. How do you view the relationship between leadership as needing to be decisive at times and participatory decisions, members guiding the group as a whole, even if, or especially when, the collective opinion diverges from that of individuals or groups within leadership? So basically, question of dictatorship versus democracy within the org.
I think there will be sort of both. Like, I don't want to meddle with what like you make it, and like what you guys will do as chiefs, what managers will do. I hope I don't have to go into micromanage anything. The only times I hope that the council will intervene with anything is if it strays too far from the idea and the point behind WTTC. So, like I've said earlier as well, I'm a big picture guy. I don't like to go into, say, to like the scouts, how they are supposed to do something. So mostly I hope that the managers and the chiefs within their branch can figure out things.
McRae just pointed out that he would expect some rough guidelines and common idea where we will go and how we will develop.
Yeah, I think we have. I think I made a document in.
But wait. Before you go into documents, let me just ask you like a very direct thing. For example,
Yep.
say some people think that this sector of space that we're currently sitting in with our hub is shit, and
Yep.
we want to move. But some people don't want to move. How will we make that decision? Will you go around asking members how many of you want to go, or how many of you want to stay, or will you just be like, well, this is how it is now?
I think the profitability and the general, if it sustains the org, if a sector or a system can't sustain the org and the org is just losing resources really fast, like a lot of attacks from pirates or other enemy orgs and no resources, so our stockpiles are just plummeting, I think we should I think those things should be the decisive factor.
Yeah, but assume you have a decent proportion of people that really like to do mining, and a bunch of other people love to do salvage, and say one sector is great because there's lots of moons and asteroids that can mine a lot, but there's literally nothing to salvage.
Yeah. I think we're we can move about within an area, but if we split up too much, then it might be harder to keep the security going.
Yep, that's true. Well, also, security might also... We don't know exactly how dangerous or easy it will be with pirates and stuff. Will players actively hunt us in space? Or would that be a thing that will be so difficult for them that they won't bother? So, we don't know how the balance of that turns out, so...
Yeah, and I also think that some systems will be a lot more dangerous than others. But I hope that we can stay out of the main routes in the system.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I mean, for me personally, also with regards to all that authoritative thing, I think 90% of the time it doesn't matter. You don't have to have strong people telling you what to do. There are just moments when that needs to be the case.
Yeah.
When there's a fight, there needs to be someone that calls the shots.
Yeah.
And that's any esport, if you look at it, the team esport, there's always someone that is just telling people what to do.
Yeah, and those people are the managers and chiefs, mostly. If there are a group of salvagers, then the manager of salvaging will be the guy taking those shots. If we should stay here, if they should move to another area, maybe talk to the scouts and we need you guys to look for an area with this sort of resources.
Well, yeah, I mean, as far I think as the different branches go, I think it's pretty obvious in most cases. As long as we do a mining op, Mekhet calls the shots, or whoever he puts in charge calls the shots.
Yeah.
Until there's pirates arriving, and then it's whoever is in security.
Yeah,
it's you jump now, Mr. Miner. You don't discuss this now.
Yeah.
Let's go away.
Yeah.
I think that's a point where you have where discussions end, right? You can't have that.
Yeah. I see there are some questions, some follow-up questions in chat as well here.
I had difficulty seeing if they were questions or if that was people just having a blast or discussing stuff. Yeah, shots fired, deal breaker Jones. Like, I guess you guys will decide where we go for a long time, at least.
Yeah.
You will be the guys calling the shot when you navigate us through a nebula. So
Yeah, and
no
also
one's gonna argue with you when you say go to the left now. There's a big rock in front of you.
yeah, and also the scouts will be our ahead operation. Like they will go to where we maybe want to go a bit prior to just figure out are there environmental issues there? Are there pirates? A lot of enemy org activity? Is there any like things that can really harm us? Because I don't want that.
I mean, I do tell by your words that it's you're putting in chiefs and managers, so you have scapegoats for the council to just be like, this was all your fault, so we got blown up, and then.
Well, of course.
Anyways, this would bring us, unless there's follow-up questions I haven't seen yet. I don't think so. People are talking about rocks that are safe. So,
yeah.
Second big category is related to the first. I called it WTTC Life.
Yep.
So, Muscle, of course, is asking how will org living arrangements work? Do we all live on our separate ships?
I think he can live in just EVA outside of a ship.
Well, that's Muscle specific, though.
Yeah, Muscle specific. Yeah. I think that we have enough merchantmans, Krakens, Polarises, and I think those kind of ships will house quite a lot of people and NPCs, because if CIG is going somewhat realistic on some things, I think each NPC needs to have a designated bed.
Right. So we're probably going to have some ships in the hub that are just going to be housing 100 NPCs on a bunch of endeavors with living quarters.
Yeah.
And who needs them takes them.
Yeah. Probably a caterpillar with some bunk modules or something. I don't want
to... God! It would be horrible! You really want to put them on caterpillars and little containers. The poor guys. At least give them a freaking little hub thing on the Endeavor, a little dome where they can look at the stars and at some greenery, maybe.
They're NPCs. They don't need that.
But you don't know that. NPCs in the games that I play would be really, really disappointed if they had what most management games have taught me is that you need to have a house plant next to you, otherwise you get very sad.
I think we just see how the game progresses in that regard. And we also don't know if someone logging out in a bed, is that bed then occupied for the time they are logged out. That is also something that might happen. I have no idea.
Alco in there has a question. Someone might want to follow the Circus movement, but can maybe only log in once a month or something. Will there be a timetable or advanced notice or something to help with movement planning?
I think the idea is that we have a set day, maybe every I don't know how big the systems will actually become. Stanton we have now is, I think it's currently roughly 1 astronomical unit. It's supposed to be, according to lore, closer to 5 astronomical units, and that's one of the smallest systems. Yep. So some of the larger systems might take 20 hours of quantum to go from one side to the other. So that might be something that you have to you start the quantum and then you log out, and when you log in the next night, then you're there. How they're going to do these things, I have no idea. If
we get good systems for having people, if I am sleeping in my ship and I allow this ship to just follow Like,
Yeah.
for example, if I live on my Polaris, I lie in the bed on my Polaris, I'm on holidays for 2 weeks and we're moving,
Yeah.
then I would just tell my Polaris to follow the whatever flagship we decide. Like maybe one of the Krakens would be the center ship of the hub, and then it would just follow that ship. Some NPC would do it, or maybe even someone else would just come aboard and just whitelist people.
Yeah. So how those mechanics will work, I think it's way too early to do or to say anything about now. We know that ships will be able to be shared with other org mates and other friends, and you can give different types of access levels. So some people can access these areas of the ship. These few members can access the bridge. At least they've talked about these things.
You could also have an NPC on there. Like if the NPCs can fly the ships, then maybe you just have an NPC that you dedicate to, just be on the ship. No one needs to come on board, because I have a feeling that given how many ships each of us have, like just look at Anki's fleet, like to move all of those ships, we'll have to just have an NPC on each and just tell all of those ships, like group 1, follow me. That's going to be more like a real-time strategy game than anything else.
Yeah, so those things, the logistics of it and how it's going to work, I don't know yet, but I hope that we can have every Thursday, every second week, we'll move to a new place. But if some place is really really resourceful, then we can maybe postpone, because the org is bringing in a lot of resources, a lot of cash, which makes it profitable to stay there.
Well, there may also be moments when we have to emergency evacuate a place if we're found out by people that are dangerous to us.
Yeah.
I think we need to have systems in place where we can just move the ships even of people that are not online. Because most of us, all of us, are not going to be online the majority of time anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
The thing is, we don't even know at this point how ships will stay in. Like, will all the ships stay spawned in?
Well, we do.
Log out?
In game now, we have actually a perimeter around the ship. So if you, at least in, I think it was 312, 311, if you parked your rock next to the Cuddy Black, not inside it, but outside of the Cuddy Black, and you logged out in bed, when you log back in, the rock would still be there.
Yeah, but the Cuddy Black is gone for that time, and
but
disappear.
If ships like the Kraken, the Javelin, if those are persistent, how will they have a persistence bubble around them?
Yeah.
We don't know yet. It's way too early to go into detailing those things.
That's true. All right, I think there was lots of questions, but I think we've answered them pretty much. Also Basil's question about living options on large ships, I think that's covered as well.
Yeah, DC is talking about the long QT trips. This is also part of the reason why I want us to be a international org and not a European only org, because we don't know how the persistence thing will work. So we might need to have a European team and an American team and maybe an Australian team to be able to have security for our fleet and for our stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. But the question is, is it going to be a game is it going to be Rust, where if you're not online and someone finds you, can they just steal everything you got? Or is it going to be a game that protects us? The thing is, we don't really know how that's going to work.
They did talk about it with the hubs. But the thing is,
they talk about lots of things, but now they don't even know exactly how. Server meshing is not done. They told us what they want it to be. We don't know if it will be that, because we don't know if it's doable.
Yeah, that's true.
So many things might change.
Yeah.
When CAG even CIG couldn't tell us these things, I think, because it's just not done yet.
Yeah, I expect everything to change.
The thing is, they might even have certain things that they say now that they want, and then either they realize down the line that it's not a good idea, or that they want to do something else because they found out something else that's cool.
Yeah.
Or they do it, they implement it, they notice, oh, this doesn't work, everyone is hating it, let's change it.
Yeah. Like
Not like most game companies do that on a daily basis.
Yeah, like Jared's always says, like, take it to the point of realism, then take it back to fun.
Yep.
So let's see what CIG means by fun.
I'm just going to read a question by Alco, but I think we've covered it just for sake of completion so that we have heard it. Yeah. He asked, when the game releases and we can finally do our thing, is everyone going to be moving together everywhere, or will members be given free reign to go wherever and do whatever they want, minus illegal stuff, or something in between, like a moving hub and spoke where members will stay within a certain vicinity while the org moves?
I think the last one, like if we go to a system, then if you stray like if you use a week to get 4 systems to another place, it would be hard to regroup and join us again. But I think some people will probably be gone for a month or 2, then come back and join up. And yeah, I think we're not going to be too strict about it. The point of the game is
some people will have to go, right? Like, hopefully we will be able to have quite a bit of excess of stuff.
Oh yeah.
So, whether we find nice stuff on salvage ships, or whether we have raw materials or processed materials at the ready, if we want to go sell it, then those that convoy of ships that we might send out might have to be separate from the hub for days sometimes.
Yeah. And I think that, I don't know yet, but I think that it's better to send like a hull E with security than to send out a lot of hull Ds, for example.
It might almost be a case of splitting up the entire, like having a large portion of the org go, because a hull E, I feel like, might even be warranting so much of security and stuff to manage that ship.
Oh yeah.
That there will be lots of people going. Like a hull E is definitely a case where you want Polaris plus escort going at least.
Oh yeah, you want at least one Polaris.
Yep. Follow-up, McRae has asked about the lawfulness. How strict will that be taken? Our lawfulness.
Like I've said a couple of times earlier, I see us not as lawful by law, but by moral. So if you're in Hurston Space, for example, which is a slaver-run company, which has a ton of slaves, I think slavery is an abomination. And if there are any missions like release these slaves, kill this slaver, like those kind of things are illegal in Hurston Space, but they are morally the right thing to do. If that answers the question.
Yeah, so basically we will follow our own moral compass, and if that clashes with the law here and there, then...
Yeah. That's the idea, at least. Like we've talked about earlier, is to create some sort of like codex, like some of like do's and don'ts, for those kind of things.
Let's keep that one simple. I've seen other orgs have massive rules.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a list of 8 to 10 things. Just this is how we are portrayed officially, like in public or something. Yeah.
So, DC, I'm not. I don't dislike your question. It's just like kind of outside of the purview of the. Well, I guess we can go into it. Like the question about server meshing. If that doesn't work, can we have multiple systems, or can we have just a single system? I mean, that's kind of a game development question. We don't know.
Yeah, that's seeing in the like crystal ball into the future of CIG's development. I really hope they get it to work.
Because if it doesn't, honestly, we can just kiss the entire orc thing goodbye, and that at least in the form that we've thought about it.
Yeah, it's
because we will never be able to play with more than 5 or 10.
Yeah, I think that's going to be crucial to for CIG to get SC to launch. Sort of.
Yeah. Nemo's asking, is it moral to kill Narsil?
Depends. If he just killed me, then sure.
Hey! I protected you pretty much every time everyone was looking after to murder you like that.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah,
like you must needed any kind of authorization to do that before, right?
Just to answer the McRae's question here, will we never take any CS written missions? As I've said, I think like morality will control it. If it's illegal in that place, but it's morally the right thing to do, then yeah, go ahead.
We won't be martyrs, right?
Martyrs?
As in, if we piss off Hurston dynamics, that's okay.
We'll just maybe stay out of Hurston space for a little while.
Yeah, but I mean, probably don't mess with the wrong people.
Yeah.
Like, don't mess with the government too much. Like, if it's a law within the Empire, we probably don't want to breach that too much.
Yeah, sure. Well, I think that like also with inter-org things, I think we're gonna stay pretty neutral to a lot of things, like not join any alliances and such, and just stay in the back. If 2 orgs are fighting, we can go in and salvage the remains.
If our orc was a D&D character, would you say that we would be somewhere on the chaotic good, chaotic neutral spectrum? We make our own laws, kind of. We're gonna still on the still generally do the right thing, but within reason. I don't know
about the chaotic, but maybe.
Chaotic is not, it's not just wanting to create a mess, but it's just, it's not, it's the law, so we have to do it even if we hate it.
Yeah. No, I think it's chaotic good.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Like, we're good for the sake of our morals, but yeah, not lawfully
if 2 corporations are fighting and both of them are equally dicks, we would sell weapons to both sides.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we would need some more explanation. That is, McRae, that is a rabbit hole that every D&D party eventually gets into, the definition of all of these 9 things.
Yeah.
But I maybe think as a general rule of thumb, it's okay.
Yeah, it's yeah, exactly the same. We'll fight both when we are sure to win. And also we will probably in parts of like the lawless systems, we will need to cozy up to some private orgs, maybe some other non-lawful orgs and people, because we mainly think about ourselves.
Yep. That's very chaotic neutral, mate.
Yeah.
And fighting both when we're sure to win is also almost on the evil side of things, but that's fine. We're
chaotic.
We're definitely chaotic. We do what serves us, and
yeah.
If it's lawless, I guess try to not get caught is a good rule of thumb as well.
Yeah, but not like kidnapping, murder.
Yeah.
Those things. Those are not morally right thing to do, unless the person is a slaver or a horrible criminal, of course. Like if Charles Manson, for example, then yeah, I'm good with that.
Also, I guess for me there would be it would like the readiness to do really horrible things would be completely different whether it's a player or a NPC. Like, you do something, you find someone in his Aurora, you can take his stuff.
No,
If it's a player, I probably wouldn't. If it was an NPC, that might be different sometimes.
I would
if
lean to
they're bad.
no on both.
I would lean, yeah. Yeah.
Because the guy in the Aurora is innocent, no matter if it's an NPC or a player. Like,
Well, he might have a box selling organs harvested on children or something. We don't know.
Then do some due diligence before you put a bullet in his head. Like, oh, you have a box in your ship.
Let's end that.
Oh, it was just shoes. Okay.
I mean, we can also we can tell them to land on our repair platform because they obviously need repairs, and then have a look at them then. And if they don't want to, I mean, we have the best services, so come on.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's not go too much into the piracy aspect.
What if this guy is a dick? That makes it okay, right? Well, you can shoot him in the knee.
But then his adventuring days will be over, and he will have to tell everyone.
Yeah.
Anyways, there was another question by our dear Anki. What if some members, I guess, want to live on planets instead of roaming the universe? Is this all right? Like nomads living in different systems?
Well, we could have like small, like, what's it called?
Homesteads?
Well, yeah, not just homesteads, but like a small colony, or like, we could have these things, but they would be quite disconnected from the rest of us, though. Like an outpost, yeah, Nemo, thanks.
I mean, a hub could be on a moon here and then. Like, we may have to have a pioneer, build some infrastructure, put some turrets up, and instead of, floating, maybe the flotilla will just land on the moon.
Yeah, my wet dream for the pioneer is that it can build like a small outpost, and when we are about to leave, then it can like deconstruct it.
We might lose some resources, but take most of it with us.
So our hub can be set up on a moon temporarily. That's what I hope.
Yeah, or a big asteroid.
Yeah, or a big asteroid.
I mean, technically, some of us have asteroid bases as hangars.
Yeah.
Who knows if those things will actually happen? But yeah.
And as McRae says as well, small hideouts here and there. We'll probably have some resources stockpiled somewhere if that's possible. Like if someone have to do some scout mission or go someplace where we've been before, they can stop by somewhere to pick up ammunition, weapons, or supplies.
Alco is talking about constructing and deconstructing things on my Polaris. I don't like where this trend is going. Stop talking about my Polaris in these ways. She is a beauty. She doesn't want these things to be built on them.
We can build Alco a little hut on top of your Polaris.
Then when acceleration happens, he just stays behind and gets fried in the...
But that seems like his problem.
I like that. Exactly. That's a him problem.
Yeah, that's a him problem.
Perfect. Speaking of security stuff, how much freedom are the security division going to have to leave the hive and chase bounties for extra money or rep? Asked Mekit.
As long as the security for the operation is okay, like if there's no security threats and we have decent coverage, then sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how bounty hunting is going to work in general.
Yeah, we have no idea about that. And some systems might be filled with bounties and others might be nothing. And also, when the scouts like go ahead to find the way we are going to go forward, they might come across some pirate hive base outpost, something that might need to be cleared out before the rest of us can follow. And those things will probably happen as well. If that's thing.
That's a development question again. We're not game devs. When do you think base building will come in before? Will it come in before new systems?
I think base building is quite a ways out.
Yep. Probably one of the last things.
Probably quite a few years. Yeah.
Yep. Well, definitely after server meshing is done, because the servers can already not handle the stuff that we have at the moment.
Yeah,
like, I think 90% of things that they don't bring out is because server meshing isn't out.
Yeah, and when they showed Homesteads and how they set up things, that was actually an in-game UI thing, not like in the engine behind. That was in-game with Star Citizen running. It was a very like mock-up UI, but it looks like they will have some sort of like camera down thing where you set up like blueprints, and then a pioneer can come in and construct.
Yeah, but honestly, again, that's crystal ball stuff. But if you ask me, if they tomorrow decided to abandon the whole MMO part of Star Citizen and just decided to give us a single-player game, with a universe, they probably could give us a lot of stuff, including base building and other things, in at least some form being finished. They just can't work on it more as long as server meshing isn't done, because at the moment nothing works. They can't even put it in a salvage V1.
Yeah.
And I suspect it's because of server meshing again.
Yeah.
Isn't it complicated? Salvage should not be complicated. It's basically mining with a different skin.
Yeah. It is. And both Pyro and Nyx is quite far along, I believe.
Yeah. Just one comment maybe on the security going for bounties also. Would you agree with me that that's probably not even security per se? Like, security is our security to protect us. Whoever wants to go out with their Avenger to murder some bounties or capture bounties, that's their own thing. That's completely independent of bounty hunting, of security division.
Oh yeah. I think also that if we have some bounties pop up, like close to wherever we are, then maybe we can actively go out and seek them as a group as well.
Yeah.
A miner can take time off and just, I want to shoot at some ships.
Honestly, I think that as security, the way I see it set up is 75% of what we do will be just to defend us from whoever, and almost everything else, like 20%, would be retribution. Someone attacked us, we go and fuck them up afterwards.
Like mostly it will be
defense.
Yeah, mostly it will be a deterrent.
Yeah, we defend ourselves. If people attack us, we kick them in the butt, hopefully.
Yep.
And once we have done that, we go and murder the children.
Yeah. Children lives are nice thing.
Well, they're children as in the ships, right? That's what I meant. But they can't do it again. Don't come back.
Yeah. And also like clearing a path before we travel somewhere.
Oh yeah. Well, that's just advanced defense.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do the American thing though, where we're gonna do we nuke you before we come in, so that make sure that preemptive strikes and all that. Maybe I'll send muscle sometimes with an A2 and just clear the path, but
yeah, because they nuke everyone. They don't care if there's a friend or foe. They're like,
exactly.
I saw some guy who might have a gun. Let's just nuke them.
Exactly, that's how it works. Anyway, speaking of this, my third category is actually WTTC foreign policy. So question from the right person from this is the first I wrote down from Muscle. How will we be able to balance our ethos of being nomadic with things like homesteads and other location-bound stuff?
On my part, I have an alt account, which probably is just gonna stay at some homestead built on some moon with a beautiful sunset. Which my main character will just like move some cash over to him, and just so my main character might not have a homestead at all, but my elf will have like a castle on the side of a hill somewhere.
Many castles. We can have castles in front of castles, and we build those on the snow planet so that we can toss snowballs at each other.
Yeah. Hey, Muscle joined as well.
I just read your question, Muscle, and we had your questions earlier. You just missed them.
Yeah, and as he said, he won't have an alt. I think being tied down to a place, it's like having someone living in an outpost 5 systems over, it would sort of disconnect a bit with the rest of the group. But
personally, I just hate being, having stuff in other places. I'm always fearful that something happens there.
yeah,
I always have a ship that I want to have the ship that I live on constantly.
Yeah.
So.
Like my fleet, I need 6 or 7 NPCs to bring my fleet of 20-ish something ships with me. And I'm hopefully, like, my C2 is to bring all my personal shit with me.
That's the reason why I don't have that many ships, and that's the only reason.
Yeah, I've actually thought about melting quite a few of them and getting like something like an Idris instead. Actually,
might make sense. Idrises are very useful.
Yeah, they can be. I wouldn't use it for like a security thing. I would make it like my base of operations.
Look at all the ships that have come out recently, like with the Odyssey having come out. I have a strong hope that they continue in that vein and top it with the new ships that have new jobs. Just take all the jobs that already exist and are covered by existing ships and just give existing ships competition. I want a Polaris-sized ship that, is different.
Yeah. And Muscle, the answer is it would sort of disconnect you temporarily. Like if you're on a planet, then let's see. Then you can like go there and stay in that area, but it would disconnect you from the rest of the fleet. But sure, I don't see any issues with it. Like people
he has
will
his
come and go.
On some moon, Stanton, and we are currently in Nyx. Then that's life, I guess.
Yeah. So it's something that I think will, like, people will join the org, stay with the org for a while, then go off, do something else, stay with their outpost, homestead, like their base of operations, and then maybe 2 months down the line they will join back up with the rest of us and continue on a bit for some months, then do something else for a couple of months. I don't know how that's going to work, but also, I don't see an issue with it.
For Dave's question just now, shouldn't we get a large ship now so we can all live and work on it? I mean, I would just encourage you, look at the...
I don't think we need any more ships.
We have the biggest ships in the game. We have a Javelin in the fleet, right? Wait, do we have a Javelin? I'm not sure, actually, but
yeah, we have a
Idris.
Javelin.
We have a Javelin. We have Idris. That's the largest ships you can have, man. Like, whatever more you want.
We have all of them. So it's...
all the ships.
I want everyone to recruit people only with the starter ship. And which are poor, so they can't buy another ship.
Recruit the poor, we need an underclass.
No, it's just we have so many ships. It's crazy. Like with the
What's reasonable people that are not crazy like us? Have you seen the average money spent per org member? It's insane.
Yeah, it's like $2,500 almost.
Yeah, more 0.7.
It's
on my last count.
Yeah, it's almost 3,000. It's just blows my mind.
On average.
Yeah, that's the average of like 40-something people who have put in their fleets.
Yep.
So we don't need any more ships.
Exactly. I'm just looking. Has there been new questions? Not right now. So, question by Arrow again. A long time ago, CIG was asked whether it would be possible to live completely off the grid, and this was answered roughly possible, yes, but very difficult.
Yep.
Is the plan for WTTC to be completely self-sustainable, or will we make trades that we consider worthwhile?
I think that some systems will lack some resources, and we'll probably have some supplies with us. But when those things run out, we need to go buy more. So I think we'll be self-sustained as much as we can, but we need to buy stuff when we have to, which is also, like we talked about earlier in the stream, those things will be taken from the pot of everything.
To be fair, as a history nerd, I have to say, like, self-sustained does not mean completely isolationist, right?
Yeah.
Like, there has not been any civilization that I'm aware of, larger civilization or group of people, even tribes, that haven't traded with others.
Yeah, we need to sell everything we produce that we can't use ourselves, and whatever we can't produce, we have to buy. Because I want our fleet to have,
right?
Yeah, I want our fleet to have like the best components for the job they are supposed to be doing. So we might have to just buy those components. We might not find them doing salvage.
I mean, not relying on others is different from, buying stuff. Like, we can easily, buy the best gun possible from another org that might have built it or found it or bought it in another system.
Yeah, but or go buy it ourselves from like a civilization, like a city or an outpost or something.
But having good relations with other orgs that we buy stuff from and sell stuff to would be useful. Like, also there might be a lot of things that we're buying is the wrong term. We might do some, some barter.
Yeah.
Like, I know some other org that we are associated with that likes to mine a lot.
Yeah. and also, what was I thinking? That some... No, I lost it.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
But yeah, like, it's Muscle's question over here. But yeah, we can build, hopefully we can build homesteads on different places, and you can have like 100 if you want to, of course. Yeah. The other thing I was supposed to say was still eluding me, though.
That's fine. We might come back to it. There's a very long question by Dealbreaker Jones. I'll read it. I think we've covered most of it, but maybe some detail will come up here.
Yeah.
So we've often discussed in the past that we aim to abide by the law, whatever system we whatever system we happen to be in, but that there may be exceptions where we will service more of a gray area in terms of lawfulness. How will we decide our course of action when situations like that crop up? How do we plan on settling disputes and double crosses by other orgs or individual players who may be lawful as well? And lastly, as individuals, are there restrictions on special in-game events or missions where not being lawful is incredibly beneficial?
I think that like it's all down to hopefully like the codex that we talked about earlier, and which has been brought up in chat quite a few times earlier as well. That I think our moral will be deciding as long as it's overall beneficial for the org, then probably it's like you can do something that might give a crime stats someplace if it doesn't affect the org too much.
also appropriate response, I guess. Like
Yeah.
the question of double crosses by other orgs.
Yeah,
If they
like if
knock us the
someone
price, we won't go nuke them.
yeah, if someone like double crosses us and half our hab is annihilated, then it's going to be a payback, a quite severe payback. I think we'll
Yes.
just load up like all our Polarises and nuke 24 size 10s from each Polaris just at them.
Yes. Don't you worry. That would be my first concern if that happened. But proportional responses. Like if they make us pay way too much for something and they double cross us that way, that would be quite a different response, I guess.
Yeah, that would be like down the road. If they want to do business with us, they have to pay more for our services or buying intel. I hope intel is going to be something that will be important. Like if we go to a new system and the scouts are going out finding many different mining spots.
Don't you worry, Muscle, we're both vindictive. Sorry, go ahead.
we pick the maybe the 3-4 best spots for ourselves, and the rest of the locations we can sell off.
Yeah.
And make money on intel.
The question with the individuals restrictions on special in-game events, I mean, at least the events that we've seen so far are kind of consequence-free. As long as everything is just, you go 15 minutes in jail and there's no repercussions to the org itself, I guess we don't give a shit, right?
Yeah, like, I know that there was talk earlier about having a separate, smaller org, which is connected, like it's a part of WTTC, which can go in and handle nasty business. But if that's needed or necessary, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that would be like going in undercover as freelancers in a pirate org that we want to blow up, for example. But
also, if for now, when there's an event where, like at the moment, I think there's an event where you can, do stuff that is quite illegal and earn a lot of money. Like at the moment, you do whatever. And,
you can play both sides.
No one is going to hate WTC if you kill a player at the moment. So as long as you're not dicks, right? Like pad ramming and murdering new players for no reason is still just a shit move that we don't like. But people participating in an event and having PvP, even if they're on the evil side of it or illegal side of it, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's like if it's something that will like ruin our relationship with the Banu, for example, that would be quite bad with us having a lot of things to trade and getting a penalty because we've done some event that destroyed the relationship with them. That's not good.
Was a question for me from Muscle with how will you and your role handle long periods of peace with a lot of coffee, I guess, and sitting at the desk and being like, yes, great, we have nothing to do. Look at those people mining and doing stuff. That's great.
Well, to be honest, I want to mine. I want to salvage. I want to repair. I want to do all of those things.
Yeah, but even if there's peace, we still need to have security around the place. We can't just assume that this peace is going to continue. So for that period of time, we will just be sitting there being like, yep, this is happening.
Yeah, and also I think that like for security, I think it should be moving between the operations. Like go to those miners, go to the salvagers, go to the scouts, maybe go to the hub, like go to different locations. Hopefully, like the security team will be like the inner perimeter of security. Like the outer perimeter will be people scanning and scouting for us, which should then detect if there is a pirate wing on
if we have something
to
like
our
an
mining
Orion,
operation.
an Orion and many other miners or salvagers going around in a specific area, the center of that area could very well be a large ship like a Polaris, Perseus, or whatever.
Yeah.
And that would have to be permanently manned anyways. So that person at that point would just mostly chat with the miners, I guess. And I mean, it's not different from a mole pilot right now. If you're a mole pilot and you found a rock that your miners want to do, then you're just sitting there waiting for them to do it, and it's fine.
Yeah.
You're listening to music, you're talking to them, it's fine.
Yeah, and I think also that it's like they will be paid if, like, the idea that I had about payment and the economy in the org, like we talked about earlier. So the security team will be paid for the time they are sitting there. So they will be earning cash just sitting there, basically being a deterrent.
That's like a security agent in a museum. Like,
yeah,
99.9% of the time they're just sitting there doing nothing, and sometimes someone is there and they have to intervene. But
yeah, if shit hits the fan, then
they need to be there.
Yeah, they need to be
honestly,
on point. And
I assume that situations where we need to intervene in a big way, where it's going to be life or death, massive things, big PvP with another orc that is well prepared, that is going to be ultra rare. If CAG do their homeworks, that should happen, but it should be rare as fuck. But let's just say it's a sector that is like medium, like not starting gloves on kind of babysitting server system, but regular system, not even like a pyro kind of infested, but just a regular old system, then I would expect regular pirate attacks by NPCs, and so that the fighters have something to do, because CAG don't want, I assume, that say a Perseus defending an Orion during a mining operation that takes 3 hours on a night does nothing in those 3 hours.
Yeah.
They don't want that. So there was going to be some PvE.
Quite boring.
But that's what PvE should be for, to just have some
like trickle in some pirates.
Yeah, like they don't have to be life-threatening.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how gameplay works, right? Like that's the idea. Have easy stuff, have medium stuff, have difficult stuff.
Yeah. Let's see, DC had some bigger question here, by the looks of it.
Is it a question or... Okay, I'm going to read it. The other night, some of us was doing Junktown and then got involved with Space Tomato Gaming Org. We realized very quickly their organization of land forces, air support, etc. worked very well and fought off some attacks. Are we going to train Org members to do the specific job when we go and do certain jobs?
I think that Muscle is in charge of like the foot patrols, like the ground people.
Yep.
And our good doctor is more in the combat wing. And I think that people are drawn to, like, some people like myself, I want to do everything, but others might just want to do one thing or two things. Some might only want to do like FPS combat thing. So I think that's partly gonna like put some people into different parts of the org and parts of the operation. But there will be a lot of people just jumping into different things, and we have to do events so we can like train, like we did.
That's literally what we did on the Thursday night combat things when we did the PvP. That was literally PvP training.
Yeah, and also when we did the boarding thing of the caterpillar once. Those kind of things are quite important. Like when they tried to do the hostage rescue of you, where they ended up murdering you quite severely. But those kind of events and those kind of operations, we will have to do quite a lot of moving forward, which I think can be quite fun.
Great question there from Dave that we should definitely go into. Can we do more weekly events like we used to?
Yeah, I want us to do as much events as people want to do. The problem is, at the moment, no people are setting them up. I have quite a few planned, but I don't always have the time to facilitate the more complex events. But I would love to go back to weekly events. Yeah.
Having organized the Thursday weekly events that we had for a while. Oh, are we still online?
Yeah.
The stream was gone for a sec for me. Anyways, so having organized these Thursday combat things for a while, I think it's a good idea to do them. I think it's a good idea to have something simple planned on a regular basis, and then occasionally branch out and do something more complex when you have the manpower to do so. Because sometimes we started with 3 or 4 people. Sometimes we stayed with 3 or 4 people and just did bounties and it was fine.
Yeah.
Then we had 10 people sometimes and we did something big. And I think that's a good way of doing it. The problem was recently that, I mean, at least for me, 314 killed the game.
Yeah.
So 314 being shit and all combat being shit, again, my opinion, you might not be of that opinion, but I think that the game was unplayable. 315 didn't help, and 316, I don't know, I haven't touched because, well, Christmas. So, and not huge motivation. So if everyone, if enough people get back in the game, if we can have activity going again, I will happily do these Thursday events with combat again.
Yeah.
But people have to be into the game, both people organizing and people playing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no point.
And also with everything going on, I can't be the only one to organize things as well. That's part of how to say it. Part of the responsibility as a chief or a manager as well is to facilitate events within that area, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's difficult because it always boils down to CAG need to give us a platform that we can work with. Yeah. And when CAG give us a patch that makes people not want to play, 2021, especially the second half, was absolutely terrible for that. Yeah. Since nothing happened for months and people got out of it waiting for 314. Then 314 wasn't very good for many people.
Yeah.
And why get back into it? There was no reason for many people at least, to get involved with the game again.
Yeah, I agree.
I think there's a good chance of 2022 when 316 being better, hopefully, and then the next patch anticipation and maybe some other stuff that we're gonna do will help us get back into the groove again.
Yeah.
By the way, one event that will definitely happen at next April, is the Prettiest Starship thing, and of course the anniversary of the org. That little thing will happen as well. Yeah. But from my perspective, I will definitely do the voting thing again.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. That was
fun last time. So
yeah, people are so emotional with their ships.
Yep,
it's fun. Muscle wants you to read a message, Narsil. Personal greeting. He used 100 bits.
That was not established as a rule. I feel like that needs to be established as a rule first.
No, he says can, Narsil. Pretty please.
Oh. Could I please? But muscle ships are not much cooler than mine. See, I said it. I just added a thing. I said more words than you asked me, so.
Yeah, that's bang for the bucks.
That is absolutely. So
but
yeah, go ahead.
No, just the 316. It seems like it's fixed the bounty bugs from 315, where you couldn't finish missions. But with now the added atmosphere bounties, I see that some people struggle to get the group missions and such because you only have 2, 3, 4, bounty missions, and the atmospheres missions are taking parts of those. So I haven't tried it myself yet. I haven't really gotten into 316 yet.
I see a lot of problems with the Atmos. At least people on Reddit keep posting things when they try to do those missions, but they seem to fail quite often.
Yeah, they could be just bad pilots as well.
That's true.
Because like you can't fly in atmosphere as you do in space.
Fly so slowly though is the issue.
Yeah, you can't fight the same way. You have to use different tactics with the ground.
I hope they're not gonna continue like this trend of, you know, they put these new missions on top of the old mission slots, so you know, and basically
it waters down the bounty missions.
I like having. I would prefer if they stopped doing this thing where to add new content to take away old content.
Yeah.
Why can't they just like, here's
like
something
now
new.
It's just
the old stuff. You can still do the old stuff if you want to, but here's the new thing.
Yeah, I think it's just diluted now. Like you have this amount of bounty missions available, but a huge portions of what can spawn in those bounty missions are now atmosphere bounties.
Maybe one thing I want to add to what Muscle just said. He said that you know, the space combat is nice, but the balance of the components and weapons, so that they're not just carbon copies, needs to happen. I mean, not only yes, wholeheartedly, but that also plays into the question that was there earlier with the, you know, training people and all that. I had actually went back in 313. I had written up an entire document with you know, a beginner's guide to doing bounties, including all the weapon stuff with screenshots and all that. But the problem is that was immediately completely obsolete when 314 happened.
Yeah.
And we can do these things again. Like we also had documents that had like comparisons between the ships, and that makes the entire thing more interesting. Also from an org perspective, because, you know, organizing ships, for example, if we have 3 ships and we want to do a specific mission, like killing an Idris, for example, it's a good idea to split up what kind of guns you have, ideally.
Yeah.
Like we also talked about doing events where we have like 3 ships versus 3 ships, for example, and it's a good idea to then talk about which guns you use, but now that every gun is the same, it's kind of pointless.
Now it's just skill.
Boils down to CAG needs to give us tools to make fun stuff again.
Yeah. But I think that's like this is early on in these things. So yeah. But let's get back to
I have one
WTTC
more serious question. Yes. So there's another question by Dealbreaker Jones asking, I imagine there will be times where we are spread out a bit over the verse. Do we have any idea how often we may need to assemble and what that may look like given what we know about CAG's plans for interstellar travel mechanics?
Well, I hope, like, we're Circus, and the reason behind having Circus in the name is I like the way a circus travels from town to town. Like, they come up in a city, and they, like, spread out, build up their circus with attractions, the tent, and whatever else they have. Then they stay there for a bit, generate income, and when that income is drying out, then they pack up and leave like a huge convoy. So that's what I'm picturing in my head. Just all of our utility ships, all of our smaller ships just crammed on Liberators and Krakens, Idrises, just on carriers basically. And we just have a huge convoy of our capital ships with everything landed on it that can be landed on it. If it sits, it fits, not rapid deployment in thought, and with a security like coverage on both sides, above and beyond and everywhere, and just move the entire operation from one system to another.
Wait, that ties into a thing that we actually had on the spreadsheets a while ago. If you ever looked at it, and if you wondered why we gave the civilian ships a rating in terms of combat, we did mostly because we had another spreadsheet that was completely undone and that I had to delete since because it was completely off what old-fashioned. Basically, it wasn't up to date anymore. But the point is, we tried to, and we will have to do that properly at some point, assess a general idea of what ships will require what protection. Like, if we know we have 5 ships of this type, we may want to not question, what do we need? Well, we might want to be like, okay, we have 3 C2s. We know that a C2 is this fast, has this many shields, is this strong when it gets attacked, so we definitely need this kind of defense around it.
Yeah.
And just have standardized things regarding that. So that will also be important for moving the org, for example, the entire hub, to know how many people will have to sit in combat ships to protect all of that shit.
As many as possible. And have as many NPCs as possible flying the civilian ships.
Yeah, exactly.
And
like that's also where automation comes in, because you want all these civilian ships that don't have very impressive weaponry to just still have them on to shoot down missiles and cover fire and stuff, but you don't want humans on some size 2 guns when you're being attacked by a fleet of big ships.
Yeah. And also it's like some systems will be more dangerous than others, and some systems might need 80% of our members to be in security related tasks, while other systems is safer and we might only need 10%.
Also, for that maybe might be interesting information. We haven't gone very public with that stuff yet. In security, we have started organizing a little bit, and there's some people that are involved in it, and they know themselves as squadron leaders.
Yeah.
And we plan on basically having some people that are very security focused that will then be able to teach people that are not, when they have to be a little bit security oriented during moments like this.
Because sometimes it's probably going to be all hands on deck when it comes to firing weapons. Just get weapon fire in the general direction of that.
I mean, I would expect a security person to still be able to man a mining laser, and likewise, primary miner should be able to still, hold a gun, or maybe not even hold a gun, but maybe just man the torpedo firing station on Adidris or whatever.
Yep. Muscle asked a question here as well.
Yes. So, any thoughts on how all of our shared cargo will be stored?
Hopefully, it's part of what we talked about earlier. Like if the mining guys and girls are putting resources into the pot, like into the org, then those things can just be used for our crucible and for repair, upgrade, tuning, whatever we need. But if you have like personal stuff, then I think mostly you should just tend for it yourself. Like if you have a lot of personal shit you have to bring along, like I do, probably. I have a C2 for that.
Honestly, I hope that we can basically recruit NPCs into the org.
Yeah.
As in, recruit some NPCs permanently that are just permanently ours, and we pay them. They just, that's one.
As long as we pay them, they should be.
Yeah, but maybe we can, if the orgs have an in-law in the universe kind of existence, which they probably do, or should have at some point, then
they have talked
why
about
not
if you have
a contract?
If you have multiple game packs, you get to design an NPC with that game pack that you can then hire.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't know. They haven't talked about that in a very long time.
Yeah, it's been quite a long time. So we'll just have to see how those things develop.
Do you want to just check out some questions from the chat for a moment? I just have to be AFK for a minute, basically.
Yep. But like one hub or spread. I think that the hub would be like the base of operations, and that will be like the starting point in a system. And then the mining operations could be quite a few million kilometers away from the hub. And we might have even like a public hub where we have like 5 merchantmans with different sort of goods and wares. And we have like hub where we live and like have our stuff, which hopefully we can keep a bit more secret and a bit more hidden away. But once we travel to a system or a sector, I think we will spread out quite a bit from that into that part of the universe. Don't know if that answers your questions good enough. Magic. Well, we just have to see what CIG wants to develop for us. That's like everything that is the idea behind WTTC will change with how CIG is developing the game. If something is impossible to do, then we can't cling to it. We have to adapt to whatever they want to want to develop and how things are going. Are there any other questions we missed here? Let's see. Yeah, the clown and ball run, the rep system. Hopefully we can do some follow-up on that major. The family is quite good. Like some of you know, my brother had he was quite ill, but we're managing quite well. It's going as good as it can theoretically go. So it's quite good. Yeah. And now we have like 25 centimeters of snow. So I've been up on my 25-year-old snow racer, just going downhill in the woods over here, which is a ton of fun.
I actually don't. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we're not gonna give your bits back. Sorry.
I mean, I did answer the question.
You even answered more, so I think you should pay us more, like 5-10 bits more.
Yep. There were some less serious questions, so Alco, I'm sorry, but no, you cannot have a big Circus big top on top of my Polaris. And my own question about muscle is that the containment of the muscle will be difficult, but it will be a struggle that we will apply ourselves to on a daily basis.
Yeah.
We might have to use a tractor beam to keep us A2 in check, but it will probably, hopefully, be possible to do so.
Yeah. I think if we find the right system or the right, like if the scouts find the right thing, then we can just like launch him into it.
I mean, he's going to be the perfect retribution weapon.
Yeah. Muscle came with an interesting question.
So will we be like Circus, gypsies, and plunder, steal and hustle everywhere we go?
Like when I started WTTC, and was looking at how to organize it, I came up with the council, the chiefs, managers, like all of those things. I was actually looking at how are gypsies organized. I actually went quite far down that rabbit hole, and I think in some way we will be like there are some similarities. Like we will make the most of it wherever we go. No, gold teeth will not be mandatory, by the way. Which was asked by Muscle in chat. But I think that like gypsies travel in a way that circuses do. Like they go to a location, they spread out, do their thing, pack up, leave, go to another direction, another place, and yeah. So it's part of the inspiration behind the org, but it's not the end result.
I mean, there was a particular race of nomads in Homeworld, the Homeworld universe, that I always felt we were kind of close to. I guess they're actually kind of similar to the Banu, in the sense that, you know, they travel space, and if you play that game, sometimes you will meet them. They have huge ships, and they will allow you to trade with them, and they will help you sometimes, or they will not help you at other times. They do whatever the fuck they want. I think that's very similar to what we will do, right?
Yeah. I just have to, like, I see Ara's writing here. Seagreen is not the official org color. That was an attempted mutiny.
We successfully introduced orange as the new org color at another mutiny. That was a very successful one.
I think that like the idea behind the org color was that yes, we have that backroom deal business, muscle gens, trying to supply pirates in the bunkers in Crusader. But it's the colors of the logo, like the aqua and gold. But it's also, I was getting a ton of DMs about people who wanted, like, do we have a set of armor? Do we have like a uniform? I got a lot of questions about that, and I don't see us as someone who have like a set uniform like many orgs have. So then the idea of just having the colors of the org represented somewhere on your armor, it could be just like two pieces representing those two colors, and everything else could be pink or purple or whatever color you want. That was the idea behind it, at least.
At the moment, my org color is the white of that spacesuit that you're given for free every time you die.
Yeah.
Because I definitely can't be bothered buying anything at the moment with this very silly system.
And no anymore.
The game kills you too often.
No seagreen. Just aqua and gold. Those are the org colors.
Well, I guess at some point,
Noting the pirate question,
we'll have we'll have the colors of we will have similar uniforms to North Korea, Like, all the medals, top to bottom medals.
Yeah. No, I didn't dodge that question, Muscle. I answered it. That we do, in fact, supply the pirates in the bunkers in Crusader. It's a very good deal. And sometimes they get seagreen, not aqua.
They're pirates. They don't know the difference.
Yeah, they're basically blind.
That's clearly a part of being a pirate. They're all missing an eye, right? So
they're blind
fine.
Blind in morals.
Oh, yes, and that therefore they can't tell sea green from aqua. That is how it works. So, guys, considering we are out of questions that were asked on the chat, and we've almost talked for 2 hours about them anyways, I don't know if you still have questions that we should bring along.
Yeah, if you have any questions, now is the time. 2 hours.
Ask them now or forever hold your peace.
Yep. We have a repair team doing that, filling them with gypsy. Which beer I'm drinking? I'm drinking this thing, which is a Amundsen brewery, a brewery local to Oslo, which is called Bosch, which is a hazy triple IPA. It's rather good. It's let's see here. It's 10% alcoholic volume, so it's quite good. Cheers. And
yes, man.
Here it was an Abler 12 years Speyside single malt whiskey. That's correct, Muscle. Any other questions about WTTC or anything else?
Come on, you were very much more concise than I would have been about Lord of the Rings, considering what Muscle just wrote.
Well, I could go into detail into which hops they use and such, but that's not interesting for most people.
At some point, we're going to have a talk about which is the official WTTC beer for the first big drinking event or something. I don't know.
Oh, alcohol on stream. Well, it's in the end, so they have to watch 2 hours of it. So, I think that's good.
I mean, also, it's not really a brand. All I saw was a weird alien with one eye on the can. So
yeah, that's right. Let's see. I can do this.
It's just a picture. That's not a brand.
Yeah.
It's no brand.
No brand.
It's soda. Yes.
Yes,
so
clearly you can see that this is soda. How much are the present box bringing in now, DC? Still 250? Oh.
Still present boxes out there?
Yeah.
I mean,
that was like a total nerf. That was good money at some point.
I don't know. I could never be bothered with them, but maybe they are better this year. I haven't logged in.
Yeah,
last time it just like I just walked around Polaris and found one maybe in 10 minutes. I was like, ugh.
Oh yeah, now they're everywhere in the right places. I did 400,000 in 1.5 hours. No. So it was quite
like
good.
One of the most boring things to do, right? Like,
well, it was
profitable, I guess.
Basically. Let's see. Serious question. Will we have an official decal paint scheme for the ships? I think
When
that
will we have it?
I think we have like the org colors represented somewhere. But if you want to paint your ship pink, then go ahead. If you have like an aqua dot, no seagreen though. That is just instant self-destruct of the ship. But it's aqua and gold, and like I've
Decal. You've made a decal.
yeah, I've been working on a decal. I don't think many people have seen it yet. Let's see if I can find it. And
it's very appropriate to the theme of the org, considering we will be traveling very long distances and we will be carrying a lot of things, so we will be heavy and big and
I have to see if I can find it again.
I mean, it would be ideal if you didn't throw it away. That was a pretty nice thing.
Yeah. I just, let's see here. I'm searching for it. See if I can get it on screen. I have to find it first.
I mean, not the truly custom ones won't be a thing for a long time, says Muscle. That's probable, but at some point, could be a thing. Hopefully, it will be a thing.
It could be sometime down the road, but we'll see. But yeah.
Good night, Muscle.
Good night, Muscle.
Yeah, many games allow you to have custom pictures and all that in there, so
yeah, hopefully they will have at least like the I hope that we can upload some org thing to Spectrum, then it can be verified by someone and see it in game.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna try to I can't find the picture at the moment.
It's a big whale.
Yeah, it's a big whale. I think I posted it in general members some time ago.
I think so too.
It's in quite a low state of activity at the moment.
Yeah, we can bring it back but the short answer then I guess is yes, there is an org decal, and it will we'll show it again later, and
yeah, it's a decal with which represents our tree branches quite well.
Yep.
Any more questions? Or should we end it?
There's a going to bed vibe coming from the chat right now, even though it's just Muscle.
Yeah, Muscle is having to get up early in the morning. Like real early. I think maybe that's it.
Maybe we should call it at this point.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching.
Again at some point, if there's more questions, I guess we can just leave the forum open.
Yeah, of course.
And on the Discord, and yeah.
No, not the security logo, McRae. There's another one. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Narsil, you're muted for 30 seconds. Yeah. And happy holidays for and a Merry Christmas to everyone. And now good New Year. Happy New Year, is it in English? Happy holidays, Steelbreaker. So I guess we'll log off. Bye everyone.